if this
right.
is not done.
Let's go on. Nasir El-Rufai has become a victim of opposition. He's facing EFCC, ICPC charges and has been in detention for over a month without trial. As someone who has also suffered detention and state harassment, is this a warning shot to strong figures planning to oppose Tinubu in 2027? What is your take on this?
Well, it is very pathetic. If there's one thing President Tinubu has done very badly, is the weakening of institutions. He has been using institutions of government against citizens. There's no constitutional provisions that gives you the power to put somebody in detention without trial. The security agencies are not acting responsibly. Before making arrest, you are supposed to have concluded your investigation. As you are picking the person, and especially a high-profile personality like this, yes, we know Nasir El-Rufai must have done some things in the past that are not in order. But that does not justify what we are doing to him. That is a former governor, a former minister. You don't humiliate important personalities and think the country will move forward. It is very bad. I want to use this opportunity to call on President Tinubu to direct immediately the release of Malam Nasir El-Rufai. He should be released immediately. There's nothing against him. If you have something against him, why should they keep him for about a month? Take him to court. You don't have to like somebody. Okay, that was the same thing Malami did while he was Attorney General. You can see what he's suffering today. Malami, when Dasuki was given judgment to be released, refused to release Dasuki. What he should have done as AGF was to go back to the court, because there's a judicial precedent that would have allowed him to get another judgment that will keep Dasuki in the custody. What judgment? There's a judicial precedent in the case between FGN and Asari Dokubo. When Asari Dokubo went to court on the basis of the violation of his fundamental human rights, the court decided that when a person is a security threat to the country, the issue of fundamental human rights can be set aside. So he was a threat, according to the ruling then, to the country, and as such, his fundamental right to freedom was set aside. And then he was still incarcerated. So, based on that judgment, AGF could have gone to court, but because Malami had no respect for the judiciary, for the court's decision, he just decided that Dasuki will not be released. See what he's facing today. In short, if not because I do not support injustice, but personally I would have been happy for Dasuki to remain in prison. Malami to remain in prison, because that was what he did. He was abusing court decisions, judgments, because he was AGF then. See what is happening to him now. What Tinubu should know is that at most, even if he wins in the next 6 years, he will not be president. Even if he wins or he rings himself into office in 2027, he will not be president. So what will happen to him? If he's not dead, he can still be in prison. He might be the first president that will be in prison. Because you cannot behave in this way and think that when President Muhammadu Buhari was alive, Nasir El-Rufai was very powerful. But see what is happening? Less than 3 years, he's in detention today. So all of these people should know, don't use the institutions against a single person. It will haunt you in the nearest future. Release. You don't have to like the people. Even if you don't like somebody, do the right thing, so that when you are no longer powerful, nobody will use the same institution against you. What they don't know is that anybody can become president tomorrow.
Do you think the opposition is doing enough to check this government, or you support those that said opposition is dead in Nigeria right now?
No, there's no opposition. You see, and these men, maybe they have done certain evil that we don't know. It seems they fear Tinubu in a way that they should fear God, their creator. There's no opposition. Who are the opposition leaders? I don't want to call them cowards, but there's no opposition in the country. Nasir El-Rufai is in detention. What have they been doing? What have they said? There's no opposition in the country. There's no opposition at all. The only opposition you can see is from the masses that once in a while, once they become frustrated, they react. The kind of role VDM is playing in this country, Sowore is playing in this country, if you put all the governors in, well, they are not even governors in opposition, if you put all the opposition leaders together, they are not playing half of the role of the VDM. Half. What I mean is that all the opposition leaders, you put them together, not playing the role of VDM. All, they are not playing half of the role of Sowore. So if you are talking about heroes in this country, you call VDM, you call Sowore, Randy Peter, Mama P. These are the heroes in this country. Oh Lord, all these opposition leaders, they don't even have capacity to lead. Because if you have capacity to lead, you should have courage. If you are not courageous, you can't lead.
All right. As a frontline activist, which would you think is more dangerous to Nigeria's democracy? Corrupt politicians or compromised electoral system?
Compromised electoral system is more dangerous. Because the corrupt politicians will not be able to get to position of authority if the electoral system is not compromised. It's not that Nigerians are that irresponsible. Sometimes they are not even given the liberty to do what they are supposed to do. This compromised electoral system has killed Nigeria. Many people do not even have confidence in the electoral system. Sometimes they stay behind. I'll give you an example. In Kogi State, where I come from, the Kina local government and Ofu local government alone is more than the entire Kogi Central, where the current governor comes from. The number of registered voters the number of accredited voters in Okene as a 2023 governorship election in the whole of Okene, the number of accredited, not registered voters, was less than 30,000 or so. Or yes, no, it was less than 50,000, in the range between 30 to 40,000 or so. The governor was reported by INEC to have secured lawful votes of over 100,000. When the number of accredited voters was between 30 to 40,000, less than 50,000, he was reported by INEC to have scored over 100,000 lawful votes. Also in Adavio, Okehi, again, over 100,000. We are not talking about registered voters, the number of accredited voters on the day of election. Before the election, the result of the election was filled by the then governor Yahya Bello, was released by some of his aides who were angry that he didn't choose them as governorship candidate. We saw it, and then it was shown to INEC. INEC said they are not going to accept that. That same result, what we heard, that when money is transferred hand, it was said that when the INEC officials, that was what the information, he said, get all this information and we believe the information is correct because it is coming from his inner caucus. Those he refused to give governorship ticket, that they thought, because he gave to the least qualified among the aspirants. Because you have a pharmacist, Asuku, who was his chief of staff. You have the AG of the state, Accountant General of the state. But you have a boy to the AG, who the current governor was looking for driving work in the office of the AG. So the AG was his own boss. A driver, somebody that wanted to be a driver. Now the overall boss in the state. So when There was a picture I saw yesterday when Atiku, the then chief of staff, was campaigning to become governor in 2023. The current governor was among the crowd that was cheering him. So now, those he didn't give the ticket, they are the ones revealing this information because they were among these inner caucus.
Is this in a fairy tale or?
Not a fairy tale. This information came out from those. You see, to get information about him now is very easy because he had promised, especially he promised his then deputy governor, Edward Onoja, who was his very close friend, asked him to go and buy form. He promised his chief of staff. His chief of staff was even thinking that he was going to be the next governor because I belong to the same group. He was very arrogant. He was almost abusing everybody, thinking he was going to be a governor. Now, he told his accountant general to buy form of 50 million. Told about 10 people to buy form. Then bought form for Ahmed Ododo. They didn't know why it was Ahmed Ododo picked. Because he was the least qualified. He is the least exposed. And as you can see, even as governor, he is more or less like it's not more or less, it's just an errand boy. If Yahadelo says to him today, maybe what I feel, because I said then, and there's nothing that has made me, there's nothing available to me now for me to shift my position.